Hi everyone, I am Vani Garg and I'm working as a senior NetSuite functional consultant in Crowe. And I've been here from like last 5 years. So when we discuss about NetSuite, we know NetSuite is very famous in like different kind of business, different kind of organizations, different industries, not only because it is highly customizable or it is very good at integration with like other softwares. The one thing that particularly excites me is the standard functionalities that NetSuite offers. So when I started NetSuite, I got some projects where we had to do some customizations and things. So what I was particularly excited about is I wanted to explore most of the NetSuite standard functionalities. So we have a special guest with us today, Raj Srinivasan, uh, and I'm going to discuss some of the very cool NetSuite standard functionalities, particularly reporting, and how we can utilize that. Hi Raj, you want to introduce yourself?
Hey, Vani. Firstly, thank you for having me. My name is Raj Srinivasan. I am one of the senior solution architects and director here in the NetSuite practice at Crowe. I've been with Crowe for about 5 years now. Prior to Crowe, I've been working with the NetSuite ecosystem for about a decade. Currently based in Dallas, Texas, playing multiple hats within Crowe's NetSuite practice, and implementation and delivery being one of those key responsibilities that I currently undertake.
Great, Raj. It's great having you today on our podcast. So, as you know the context already, right? We are going to discuss like there will be a series of podcasts, and I think since I am very much excited about the standard NetSuite functionalities, I hope you are also very much excited about these stuff, right? So, whenever we start discussing NetSuite implementation, whenever we want to pitch NetSuite to any client, um, I think the very first thing is to think about why people are ready to opt for NetSuite. What are the different organizations? What are the different kind of industries that are loving NetSuite to this extent, right? So when this thing comes to my mind, I think of multiple different reasons why people like opt for NetSuite, right? I think I have seen most of the mid-size to the large scale industries opting for NetSuite because um, first, NetSuite offers very good standard functionalities. Second, it's highly customizable. Third, it's very easy to integrate with other softwares, right? The fourth thing that comes into my mind is, and that's really very important, is its reporting capabilities, right? We have very good reporting options in NetSuite. Like there are different tools. We will come to that. But most of the mid to the large scale industries, I think, are opting for NetSuite. Apart from the mid to large scale, I think if we go to the manufacturing sector industries, I think they are also opting for NetSuite because NetSuite offers good reporting capabilities for the work in progress or the other manufacturing areas, right? I have personally worked with the clients that are involved into professional services, right? Because they actually involves a lot of time bookings for employees or different kind of employees data recorded into NetSuite. So those kind of industries I have actually worked with a lot, and I think the main reason that they're loving NetSuite is because of the reporting capabilities. So what are your thoughts on why and which specific kind of organizations are looking for NetSuite? What are your thoughts
Yeah.
on that?
No, absolutely. I mean, you laid it out perfectly well there. So, I mean, in my opinion, organizations that adopt for NetSuite for reporting or just implementing the software, typically I've seen fall into several distinct categories based on complexity, growth trajectory, and size. But the most common types of organizations that I have seen, implement NetSuite, and obviously reporting is a component of that, are, like you said, mid-market and rapid growth companies, 10 million to $100 million in revenue, sometimes even 100 to $500 million in revenue, expanding into new geographies or business lines, outgrowing their tools like QuickBooks. A lot of these clients of ours that are moving into NetSuite leverage QuickBooks and some legacy ERPs that are outgrowing. And why NetSuite? Scalable, multi-currency support, multi-entity support, automated financial consolidations, custom reporting and dashboards being a key component as well. Some of the example that I see when it comes to industries would be technology startups, digital agencies, food and beverage manufacturing brands. These companies are where we see the reporting capability come in really well. And then multi-subsidiary and global enterprises where NetSuite One World is implemented is one more use case where we see a lot of clients moving into NetSuite that are operating in multiple countries, need to manage different tax jurisdictions, currencies, accounting standards like IFRS, GAAP. NetSuite's One World intercompany elimination process allows you to have companies in different countries and leverage NetSuite standard reporting to not only report your financials, but report it as per the need of a modern, robust ERP platform, right? The other category that I would see where we have done a lot of work recently is private equity and venture-backed firms, where you need standardized reporting across your portfolio companies, fast audit compliance processes, fast close process, because if you don't close your books fast, you won't be able to report your financial statements faster. And having that inbuilt audit trail capability where change management, change control is in place. So I would say mid-market companies, private equity companies, some niche industries like food and beverage, multi-entity companies that are operating in different countries. And this is where NetSuite comes in really well, not only from making those subsidiaries implemented in the system, but also leverage the native reporting in NetSuite.
I think you raised a very good point, Raj, talking about the multi-subsidiary feature that NetSuite support. So I have worked with most of the clients using multi-subsidiary feature, and I know how good NetSuite is when it comes to supporting multiple subsidiaries and multiple currencies, right? Be it's multi-book, right?
Yep.
Be it's like integrating with the QuickBooks and other stuff. NetSuite is highly flexible enough to uh, being able to modify itself as per the client needs. And yeah, one of the very interesting feature that NetSuite offers is easy to close, it actually gives the clients very easy methods to close their accounting periods because there are so many reports that people can use to verify, okay, everything is going correct. If there is something wrong, how can we fix that, right? The
That's
reports
right.
are capable enough of providing that data visibility to the customers, and that actually helps people close their books faster, which is, I think, a great tool. So when it comes to reporting, Raj, I can think of I have personally used 4 different tools that NetSuite offer. One is the basic NetSuite reports, right? There's a section, entire section whenever we log in.
Yep.
It's on the dashboard itself, so we go to the report section and we can see different categories of report. That's really cool, right? And I think that supports all those kind of reports that a business is generally looking for whenever they opt for any new ERP or any other system, right? The ready to go reports, right? The second tool, obviously little more flexible than reports, is the save searches. I have widely used save searches, right? After that, I have used Suite Analytics, which is, I think, a much higher version when it comes to like reporting. So I will categorize in a way that first we go for reports, then we go for save searches, then we opt for Suite Analytics if there is there is some complex requirement. And I have recently started using NSAW, like the new tool that NetSuite has introduced, and I think that is also very cool. So for me, I think all 4 reporting tools will in any way match or will be, I think, able to incorporate any client requirement. So what do you think about all these tools and especially the reports, since we are starting with the generic reports that NetSuite offers?
Yeah, no, I think that's a great topic. I mean, to me, it would depend on a few things. Number one would be what type of data or underlying data that we are trying to extract and who your audience is and the visualization aspect of it. Safe Search, as we know, is a query-based tool where you can apply advanced filtering criteria, summarization formulas. However, the presentation layout of a Safe Search is not the greatest, right? But it does the job from an extraction perspective and then collecting all the data, aggregating all the data that you need from different tables and giving you the result that you need. Whereas reporting comes in handy for financial reporting and pre-built layouts, right? You would not want to replicate an income statement on a safe search, right? Income statement, balance sheet, any standard financial reports that have pre-built set of criterias and layouts are represented in a reporting tool much better than a safe search or an analytics workbook. But we have also seen clients ask for more visualization capabilities, and that's where integration with a Power BI, right, using a data warehouse comes in, where a data is extracted out of the system, and then an external reporting tool or a robust modern Power BI kind of a tool is used for KPIs and reporting. So to me, it would be depending on the audience, the level of data that you need, and how are you representing the data based on the audience. Standard reporting works really well when you're dealing with, like I said, standard income statements, balance sheets, and standard financial reports, where you're also having the ability to drill down into the transactions that make up those numbers. And to your point, analytics workbook is designed in a way, or enabled in a way, where some of the limitations that we have seen with reporting and searches are eliminated, where in workbook now you can have unlimited number of joins, whereas in safe searches you would only have two joints, right? As an example, analytics workbook is fairly new, but with NetSuite's push on AI, there is predictive data analysis and forecasting that it offers, but it's still, there's a way to go there. Those are some of the limitations that I've seen, is the visualization aspect, the formatting of the data when you compare to a modern BI tool, right? But there are obviously more strengths too, right? Data integrity across different modules. The beauty of NetSuite is you have all these different modules tightly connected to each other, so that you're seeing the same data throughout the process, and there is no data loss as things get reported within CRM to inventory to finance to SOX compliance, right? There's always a continuous audit trail that is being maintained within the platform, and that's one of the reasons NetSuite is really popular, is having those continuous enablement throughout the process, which then leads to a consistent reporting at the end of the day.
You are right, Raj. I think all the tools, like we haven't spoken much about NSAW, but I think these are really very helpful for any type of client, be it some manufacturing client or be it some other client, right?
Yep.
So when we discuss about reports, there are obviously so many advantages, but there are at the
Yeah.
same time some limitations too. So when I think of advantages, the first thing that you already mentioned is the drill down options. I think most of the clients, if they are into finance department, they will want to have an option to drill down, right, at some point of time. And since whenever we tell them, okay, we have a readily available report, maybe trial balance sheet, any other report, it they really becomes happy looking at the feature because it's there, it's just simply there, we don't need to do anything for that, right?
Yep.
So I think the very good feature is the drill down option. Another thing is it's really very good that NetSuite allows us to report our data um, by adding different dimensions as the filters, right? We can filter out our data using different kind of dimensions, be it department, location, class, or maybe any other segment you have introduced into your system. So I think that's also really very cool feature. I
Absolutely.
haven't seen most of the ERP supporting that, but NetSuite
Yeah.
supporting the dimensions as the filters is, I think, one of the best things. So again, there are talking about advantages, there are we can actually put restrictions on which users can see the reports, which roles can see the reports, right?
Yep.
We can schedule our reports. So there are like multiple different advantages. So what do you think is
Yeah.
the best advantage we can utilize from NetSuite reports?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's again a good topic. To me, the couple of things that you've already laid out, right? I mean, real-time data visibility is a key advantage, right? NetSuite being in the cloud, and as transactions get posted real time into the ledger, reporting becomes real time as well, right? So gone are the days where you need to push a job, which then records the transactions in the ledger, and then reporting is generated 2 days from the time then when the transactions were posted. So with NetSuite's real-time data visibility capability, you post transactions, you're able to run reports real time at the same time, pretty much. And you can monitor your KPIs, reports, searches, all of that real time in the system. Um, That's a key strength of the system or the tool. Multi-entity, like we talked about, right? You mentioned about slicing and dicing your consolidated financial statements with legal entities, with departments, revenue streams, product lines, all within the single view is a key strength, right? Previously, you would have to like download each version of your financial statement by segment and aggregate outside of your ERP tool. But all of that is now built in capabilities within NetSuite. Data integrity, like I mentioned, where all these modules are tightly coupled from an architecture perspective, having that visibility from CRM down to finance is key. And throughout the process, SOX compliance and audit trails and controls to prevent any misuse of data or deletion is already handled through the native roles and permissions capability, like you mentioned. So to me, those three or four would be the main ones, which ultimately leads to appropriate reporting within an organization, right? Data visibility. Can I trust my data? Number one. Number two is how flexible is my financial statements? Number three, different modules that are coming together and they're tightly linked. So if you change something in CRM, you will see the change being reflected in finance. And then native support for roles, permissions, audit trails, and compliance like SOX compliance.
Correct, correct. So I think we have a number of advantages here in reporting, but again, like the very famous saying, every coin has two sides. So
Yeah,
there are some limitations. So the biggest thing that I can think of is the formulas, right? With reporting, we can just do the basic formulas like
yeah,
just simple addition, simple subtractions, maybe
yeah,
just calculating the percentage and multiplying, dividing the things. I think that's the one thing that's people that lets the users choose safe searches and other tools instead of reports, right?
right.
So not being able, there are sometimes requirement when maybe people are using custom fields or custom records, right? And then they want to do any specific formula to get a specific column result, right? But reports not being able to incorporate that complex formula, I think this is one of the biggest limitation. Obviously there are others too, but
Right,
what are
right.
your thoughts on this? How much have you
Yeah,
used reports when it comes to formulas?
yeah, no, I think great question. For me, the decision whether to use reporting and how deep you want to go from a customization capability, again, depends on the type of data, who the audience is, and how we want to format the data. Obviously, from a formatting and a visualization perspective, you cannot compare NetSuite's visualization to a modern BI tool like a Tableau or a Power BI. Those tools are meant to look good, right? Meant to create KPIs that traditional ERPs cannot. To me, that would be a limitation. Again, NetSuite is making a lot of investments in KPIs and presentation aspect of reporting, depending on the audience, obviously. The second one to me would be lack of advanced analytics and AI, right? AI is still evolving and not so much embedded in the native suite. And I know NetSuite Analytics Warehouse has some AI capabilities, but the standard reporting searches, they do not offer a lot of AI capability. So that's one that I'm seeing. And then custom report development, right? Relying heavily on admins and developers for complex report changes. I mean, when it comes to financial statements, you probably don't need an admin or a developer to make a change, but there are other use cases for reporting other than just financial statements, and that's where I've seen heavy reliance on admins and developers to make reporting changes, because a lot of the times you're not sure what you're making or what you're changing in an existing report, right? To your point, a lot of the times we figure out whether it's a formula need, whether it's a formatting need, whether it's a combination of all of that, right? And users generally are not comfortable making those updates real time on an existing report. So, yeah, like I said, relying on admins and developers for complex report changes as well as one of the limitations. Reporting itself is reporting the tool or the customization capability itself is not complex, but understanding the data layouts, right? Understanding the table structure within NetSuite sometimes could be a little confusing for a user, because if a user is looking at a report and a save search at the same time, you would see the underlying data sets are different, or they're called differently. So a lot of the times we get questions, hey, the reporting customization tells me that, hey, it's a project, record, whereas a safe search says it's an entity record, right? As an example, what's the difference? So I think there's a slight learning curve when it comes to end users adopting and relying heavily moving forward from reporting and searches customization capabilities, but a lot of our clients get there at some point and they become masters of it as well.
Correct. Like with proper training, I think we being consultant, we do the same thing for like a large number of clients, but the
That's right.
user is just using the system for like they're not every day they're working on report or they're implementing that thing for anyone. So it's yeah, you're right. It's some I think it's a thing that you can eventually understand by learning and or by practicing. But
Yep.
yeah, another advantage of report that I missed to mention earlier is, and this is from one of my client that asked for, they actually wanted the comparative income statement, the native report,
Mm.
in a UK format, like the format that the UK government will support. So at that time, I
Sure.
was not sure if NetSuite has that ready to build format in report. So I offered them, I said, I will have to do some research. When I did, I don't know how I missed that, but at some point of time, I got back to them. I said, I will have to customize this for you. We can just do the exact same thing, what you're asking for, but I will have to customize that. And they were
Right.
okay with that, right? The client trusts us a lot.
Yep.
So I started with the documentation part of that, but then I realized there must be something. NetSuite is very good at these things, like with the standard functionality. So I did some more research and I literally found a section where we can change a report's layout. And
Yeah.
it was like very straightforward. The thing for which I actually asked them that it's going to take us maybe 15, 16 hours. It just took me 2 minutes. I just had to switch the layout and it just gave me almost, I won't say the exact same, but almost a replica of what they were trying to go for. So
Yeah.
I think the layouts is also a very good feature that reports
Yeah.
offer.
No,
Yeah.
absolutely. I think, like you mentioned, layouts are powerful and it gives you the ability to customize the layout the way you would want. And a prime example from our side, from my side, would be a few years back, we were implementing NetSuite for, I would say, the fifth largest food distribution company in the US. And they were spending at least 3 days every single month creating a layout in Excel. Not layout, the layout was already there, but just getting all the data from different ERPs and putting the data in that format, which goes to the bank. So they
Okay.
had a layout for a bank facing format and they had a layout for internal facing for their stakeholders. And we were able to kind of do both of those using standard NetSuite income statement, where we could go and exclude the categories that it offers natively, and then we can plug in custom categories on the left in the report builder, and then the layout came out exactly like how they would present to the bank and then how they would present it internally as well. So the flexibility is there within the reporting tool, especially when it comes to the financial statements, right? That's
Correct.
where it's really important that we take a step back and think what the right fit is based on the requirement, and whether it's a reporting or a search or a workbook. Because yeah, when it comes to standard financial statements or customizing a standard financial statement, reporting is the best option.
Is the best option. Now you are right.